This is the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mohsin.
Happy Monday, folks. It's great to be back here again. And as always, it's wonderful to have great guests, truly inspired by Frank Coonelly, and met him at the CEO Awards dinner. He is the president of the Pittsburgh Pirates. How are you today, Frank?
I'm terrific, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on air with us. I know that we always love to have folks that have unique experiences, have inspired so many, and you certainly have inspired many. You have the day-to-day operations of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we're very happy to also see the fact that your background is extensive. You've been Senior Vice President of General Counsel of Labor in the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. You've done some great things. Can you share a little bit with our listeners your background and history?
Well, sure. That's very kind of you. First, my background was interesting in that while I love sports and love baseball in particular, I didn't go to school with a desire to get into working in professional sports or Major League Baseball. Maybe I would have if I thought about it harder, because I certainly, from being a young kid, my passion and my dream was to be a Major League Baseball player one day. But unfortunately, as it is for most of us, the reality sets in at some point, and that set in for me sometime in the late teens when I realized that I didn't have the tools or the talents to live that dream. But then I went to Penn State undergrad, and with an eye towards going to law school, which I did. Went to Catholic University Law School, and once there, fell in love with labor law. Really didn't know what type of law I would have a passion for, but fell in love with labor law in my second year of law school, and really enjoyed the personal aspects of union labor negotiations, relationship building, and affecting economic change for an industry or a business through its labor negotiations. As a result, I was fortunate enough to secure a position with what I viewed to be the very best management labor law firm in Washington, D.C., where I went to school, Morgan, Lewis & Bockius. Again, didn't go there targeting them in an effort to work in Major League Baseball or in sports-related enterprises, because at the time, Morgan Lewis had a great client list, but Major League Baseball was not among them. Right. I went there because they really had exciting work and terrific lawyers working for them. About a year after I joined the firm, wholly unrelated to the fact that I was there as a first-year associate, Major League Baseball became one of the clients for the labor practice, and we became their outside labor counsel to work on their labor litigation and collective bargaining. And very fortuitously, again, I was tabbed as the young attorney, young associate on the account to work on this account, along with probably at its peak 5 to 8 other more senior attorneys working on the Major League Baseball account. I found it fascinating at that point for somebody who had a passion for the game of baseball to see it working out, to see the game from the business standpoint was fascinating. The labor history of the sport was very challenging and remained challenging while I was there, but that certainly made for interesting legal questions and interesting collective bargaining questions and issues that were fulfilling to me. I was there working mainly on baseball matters, but also working on other clients of the firm, which was interesting because the baseball players union is much different than most industrial unions in the country or other service industries. Right. The entertainment labor movement and labor structure is really quite different than what we would view as traditional labor structure. So getting an opportunity to work in other industries was also interesting and challenging for me as a young lawyer. Then in 1998, Commissioner Seelig, who is stepping down this year after 22 years as the Commissioner of Baseball, asked me to come inside at the MLB offices to act as Chief Labor Counsel for Major League Baseball. And so I took that opportunity and had 10 wonderful years working with Commissioner Seelig and the Major League owners in trying to reverse some very disturbing trends in the labor relations that Major League Baseball owners had with their players, and trying to put clubs in a better economic footing to have stable operating businesses that also provided great joy and entertainment to the fans of these teams that have been playing baseball for well over 100 years. After 10 years there, I was asked by Bob Nutting, the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, if I would join the team here as president of the club and work with a group of men and women to try to bring back what had always been a very proud original franchise of the National League and had much success in past but had fallen on hard times, and whether I would try to come over here and work as with a team to try to restore the pride and passion that the city of Pittsburgh had for the Pirates. So I agreed to do that late in 2007, at the end of the 2007 season, and then set out to try to help us to rebond this team with its city, which had fallen on some hard times. So that's a long-winded, long-winded but brief bio, hopefully.
No, it's fascinating, and in fact, the Pirates are they're doing very well. And the thing is that at least once a month there are things that I love to cover. One is folks involved in sports and charities. Those are the things that I love to share with our listeners because it's so very important, the discipline of the sport in itself, whether we're looking at college football or baseball. I just had the ESPN commentator Mike Gottfried on about a week or so ago, Frank, and I just love the aspect of how, what it takes to excel in any sport and the discipline of it for kids and not only young people but people as they age as well. So this is, to me, so very important to our listeners to also understand the dynamics of how baseball works, your background in itself, and I truly enjoyed the event at the CEO Awards dinner, and you spoke to so many of us and touched us with the background of the Pirates in itself, and certainly I love baseball. It's actually my favorite sport outside of hockey and football, but I have to cover all the bases.
We'll take third in your order.
If you say so, yes.
Well, that's interesting that you raise sports and charitable efforts, because here at the Pirates and really all the professional sports franchises, we are, and college sports for that matter, we are blessed that not only do we have an opportunity to work in this great game that people find to be very important in their lives, and so that provides us or gives us an obligation to provide our fans with a product that they're proud of, that entertains them and brings joy to their life. Because whether it's right or wrong or our priorities should be elsewhere, the reality is that for many of us, and I put myself in that group, sports falls somewhere just below God and family.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
That's the reality of the situation. So it's a tremendous responsibility for us who work in the game, and particularly at an individual club level, to do everything in our power to give our fans a product that they're proud of, because it's an important part of their life. Point one. Point
and
two,
here's the thing, Frank, I have to say this because you really hit that one word, which is joy.
Right.
And that's, I think, so very important to have that joy in your life. Whatever you do, it doesn't have to be the dollar amount, but to get joy from it. And I certainly know that you have great joy. You have a wonderful family, your wife, Debbie, you have 4 children. So I certainly think that it's so very important to also give credit to your spouse and obviously you have done an exceptional job as well. And I'd love to have you back on the air at some point, and would love to work with you on a charity event. And I think that in itself would be a way of being of service as well.
Right. Well, I would love to do that, and I was just moving to our charitable efforts in addition to the responsibility to put a terrific and fun and exciting product on the field. We take very seriously our responsibility to give back in our communities that we do business in and to make a difference in the lives of others, and we can do it in so many ways, and we have such a powerful platform. There are so many ways that either through the Pirate organization itself or Pirates Charities, which is our charitable foundation, we help to improve the lives of others in our communities. We're building Miracle League fields, which are specially designed fields that children with special needs can play in, adults with special needs, whether they be returning servicemen and women or other adults with special needs can play on these specially designed fields. That's been a major initiative for us, or it's something much more focused. Like 2 weeks ago, we had a Make-A-Wish boy with us, a 10-year-old wonderful young man who was with us, and his Make-A-Wish was he's dealing with complications from cancer. His wish was to spend a day with Andrew McCutcheon. So he came to the ballpark, had lunch with Andrew McCutcheon, our all-star center fielder, in center field. We set up a lovely lunch for the two of them and this young man's, Matthew's, family in center field. And then he had a day in which we had a press conference for him, which I signed him to a one-day contract to be a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had an opportunity to throw out the first pitch, watch the game from a suite, watch batting practice with Andrew and his teammates. He even got an opportunity to visit with Commissioner Seelig, who happened to be in Pittsburgh for that evening. So those are impacts that that young man and his family will never forget. And because of the forum in which we're blessed to have the reins of, we can do those things. And I always tell our employees here, never forget the power that we have to affect positive change in the lives of others, because it is powerful, and therefore we have to wield that power in a positive way and make as much good use out of what we can bring to the community as we possibly can.
I couldn't agree with you more. And Frank, here's the thing. I was saying this to a friend of mine and a few of the folks that I've met through life. Life's a team sport, and great things happen when we work together, when we support each other. So certainly, I'd like to bring you back on the air at some point whenever you're available. I know today's a busy day for you, but
I would look forward to it.
Certainly, if folks, you have questions, you can call us here at 1-800-662-9550. And Frank, hopefully we can get you back on the air again in the next couple of weeks, and we can work together on a charity.
Sounds wonderful, Sarah. It's great to be with you this afternoon.
Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mohsin Mortgage Program with Sarah Mohsin. Mohsin Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.